Namaste. Hope you're all doing well. Thanks for joining here today. This is a 20-minute class, nice quick one, and it's a dynamic meditation prep. So the reason I wanted to offer something like this was that oftentimes before I go to sit, my body feels like it needs just a little bit of movement, just to unkink or get energy flowing in a particular way. So that's sort of the purpose behind this. It's not meant to be a full-fledged workout for the body or anything like that, just a simple little sequence that we can do before we sit, maybe add or take away as need be, so that we can move comfortably into the meditation. Perfect, let's start. So we'll come up to stand to begin with. And let's close the eyes, press the palms together at the center of the chest, and just step into the space of your practice with that gesture, into a space of reverence, deep respect, and purpose. We'll take one Om. So join if you like. Take an inhale. Om. And then opening the eyes and releasing hands down beside you. Interlacing your fingers together. You might want to interlace the way that feels a little bit weird, so not the way that you would normally do it. Do it backwards. And then on an inhale, reach the backs of your hands up. Backs of the hands up towards the ceiling. And then let's twist to the right and lean back. Activate your legs, leaning back. So right away, right off the bat, we're feeling the whole body participating. And then inhale to center. And exhale. Inhale, twist to the left. One distinct movement. And then lean back. Another distinct movement. So the two are combining with each other. Feel that nice spiral through the whole body. Both sides spiraling in their own little way. Then inhale back to center. Exhale, release your arms. And then interlacing the fingers again, but this time behind you. So reaching the knuckles down. You could also work with the strap in between the hands if it's a bit much for the shoulders. And on the exhale, let's fold forward. So the hands are bound behind us or fastened together, as it were, with a strap. And start to work the upper body and shoulders and arms here. Maybe even bring a bit of movement to the head and the neck. Freeing up anything that feels like it's kinked up. All with this purpose in mind of moving into a seated posture for an extended time period when we're done. Let's come all the way up on an inhale. Exhaling to stand. From here, widen the feet about a hip distance, heel toe them apart. Inhaling, and then exhaling to fold forward. And let's reach for the big toes with our first two fingers to begin with here. So if you need a bit of bend into the knees, no problem. Folding forward and straightening the legs until you feel sufficient and comfortable sensation. And there's something specific with this variation of a forward fold, with the toes and the fingers linked like they are. A little bit different than other variations. So how do you want to feel in your meditation, physically speaking? Start to embody that. Let's release on an inhale. Slide the palms under the bottoms of your feet. And then once again, exhale, fold forward a little bit more deeply. Padahastasana. So you're stepping onto your palms and using a push-pull dynamic to keep cultivating that specific space in the body that's going to equate to a successful meditation practice. And releasing the hands, let's lift halfway. Exhale, you can just let the spine hang for a moment. And then roll all the way up on an inhale. Just let each vertebra stack, and then you can heel toe the feet back together, standing. Just a few half sun salutations here. Energy moving through the body. Inhale, reach, expand upwards, and then exhale, fold forward, ground, down. Inhale, lengthen out, reach behind and in front. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rolling up, reach, exhale, back to that starting point. 2 more like that. Inhale, reach, exhale, fold, inhale, lift, exhale, fold, inhale, reach, exhale, release. Last one. Inhale, exhale, fold forward. We'll end this one a little bit differently. Inhale, lift the head and the chest, and then step or hop back into a high plank. Let's take 3 breaths here. And then using the knees if you need, lower the chest down, the hips a little bit high, so it's almost like you're sticking your butt up a little bit. 3 breaths here. And then all the way down onto the front of the body from here. Let's take the arms beside you. Left ear onto the floor. Keep the eyes open. Just gaze to the side of your mat. Let the neck passively stretch here for a moment. And then change sides, right ear to the floor. And then forehead can come to the floor or chin as you set up for Bhujangasana. So then peeling the front of the body up off the floor, elbows under the shoulders, palms into the mat, pelvis, tops of the feet pressing. Gaze straight ahead here. And then if you like, you can play around a little bit with turning the head. 180-degree range here to the right and to the left. So do that once or twice or 3 times. And then as you're ready, lower the forehead down, palms under the shoulders, curl your toes under, and let's press forward and up. Urdhva Mukha or Little Cobra also works fine. And exhale back into downward facing dog. And we'll take about 10 breaths here. So nice long hold. Starting to cultivate the resilience and concentration, perhaps, that will aid you in your meditation. And then, as we probably all know, there's lots of discomfort that can potentially arise in the legs, knees, hips, pelvis when we sit. So we'll see if we can address a little bit of that with a few postures targeted there. So let's step the right foot in between the hands here, and we'll come all the way up into Virabhadrasana D. So hands could be to the waist as you straighten out that back leg fully, center of chest. We're reaching, 3 breaths. And then with an exhale, palms to the mat, step the right foot back, down dog. Second side, left foot comes through, right toes are curled under. Find your variation of Warrior D. All with the purpose in mind of making ourselves comfortable to sit. Exhale, palms to the floor. Let's step back into downward facing dog. And then bringing the feet between the hands, lift, head and chest. Exhaling to fold forward. And inhaling to roll all the way up. Let's reach, touch palms, maybe lean back. And exhale, releasing into Samastitihi. Good, we'll balance here now, standing into the left foot for Garudasana. So we're going to curl that whole right leg around the left. So both knees will start to bend like so. And then we'll get the left arm up and the right arm underneath. So you could reach for opposite shoulder blades like this, or maybe the forearms go perpendicular to the floor more or less like this. And the palms link. Feel the very center of your being, center of the body, and increasingly subtle versions of that. Let's release with an inhale and land back onto the floor with an exhale. We'll do the other side. Left leg curls all the way around the right. So perhaps for some of us, the toes will just balance into the floor like so. And then as you're ready, we'll bring right up, left under, squeeze. Keep drawing up from the floor. As you squeeze towards that center, let that concept of center really grow and expand. Good. Inhale. Let's unwind the body. Exhale, release. And then widen the feet just a little bit here. Hands can start to the waist. Inhale. Exhale, we're just going to drop the sit bones down towards a squat. So as you come down, you'll feel where the feet naturally want to go. And we can spend just a moment more or less in neutral, so a centered variation of the pose. And then as you're ready, we're going to twist to the right. So I really like pressing the right palm into the right thigh and latching onto my left heel with my left hand. So that could be where you are. You could also wrap that left arm around the outside, or the inside rather, of the left leg, reaching back behind you, maybe even binding. You could also reach the right arm up. Start to lean back a little bit. Good, releasing. Second side. Twist to your left. So to the best of your ability, addressing all of those little hot spots that might arise in your body as you sit. That's the idea here. So this is maybe, for some of us, a bit different of a way of approaching a physical practice. Good, exhaling to release. And let's just lower the knees onto the floor from here. So coming onto the knees. And let's have the tops of the feet onto the floor. We'll just sit back onto the heels here for a moment. And you can either just stay here if that feels like enough. Maybe even lift the knees up off the floor as you lean back. So that should bring a nice stretch through the front of your feet, shins, thighs, even up into the hip flexors. Good, and then release the knees back down if they're lifted. And we'll set up here for a headstand, or a prep pose for a headstand. So I think it's really nice to get the body inverted before sitting. And there's many different ways to do this, different degrees of depth, so you can find one that works for you. So I usually work with the headstand variation where the fingers are interlaced together. The elbows are then about just wider than the shoulders, or a little bit closer. Top of the head rests onto the floor, not with its full weight, a little bit lighter through the activation of the strength in the arms, and we're cradling the back of the head with the palms. So this could be your headstand. That's a nice little inversion just as it is. We could lift the knees. We can lift one leg up at a time, or as you're ready, coming up into the full variation of headstand. Work with the body in a way that is going to work out nicely for a sit after. You're practicing bringing that about in your system. So wherever you are, let's take about 3 more breaths. And then releasing into child's pose, forehead to the floor. Arms could be beside you, draped alongside, or somewhere out in front of you, whatever feels just really, really restful. Where you can comfortably observe from. You might rest your forehead onto a block. And then rolling up. If you do feel called, you could spend a few minutes in Shavasana before moving into your seat. Otherwise, just going right ahead and finding that meditation posture. So I'll just take a couple of minutes to talk about what that might look like. So easy cross-legged is totally fine. You could be up onto any combination of blocks or even a bolster. You could also be sitting onto your knees, and perhaps that's fine for your ankles to just be right onto the heels like so. A great way to sit is also to take a block under the sit bones, so the legs just have to be a little bit wider. But this is a really great way to ensure that the sit bones are balanced, the whole pelvis is balanced, and the spine is tall. So that's another option. And then there's lots of different ways to sit cross-legged as well. So you can kind of intuit your way to one that works. Maybe that's lotus pose with your ankles up onto the thighs. That's a little bit deeper. You could also work with Sukhasana, so Basically bringing one set of toes each in between the calves and the backs of your thighs. And perhaps still even some support is needed there, just under the sit bones or under the tailbone as a bit of a wedge. And you can also stack the shins. It's potentially another nice way to do it. So the heels are both coming towards the pelvic floor. And feel free to reach out to me or any other of the instructors here at Prana if you're interested in learning more about what a good seated posture is going to be for you. So I hope you have a wonderful meditation. Sit for as long as you like. And I will leave you to that with an Om. So if you want to join by bringing the palms together, take an inhale. Om. Namaste.